Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang, and we're going to talk about the impeachment of Donald Trump and what that means for Andrew Yang. So we are right now, it's yesterday, December 18th, Donald Trump was impeached by the House. This is a huge political, historical event. This is a huge historical event in U.S. American politics. I will say right now, I did not call this. I am shocked by this occurrence. I did not think the Democrats would be able to impeach Donald Trump. Now, of course, impeachment doesn't mean he's removed from office. It just means impeachment. The next step is that there will be a trial of Donald Trump before the Senate, most likely in January or February. And after that trial, the Dems will have an attempt. Will have they'll be that trial will give them an attempt to remove Donald Trump from office, right? So this is a huge historical event. It's a massive achievement by the Democrats. It's totally not determined if this is going to help them in any way or if it's going to be incredibly damaging to them. So let's look at this event through the specifically from the perspective of Andrew Yang. So first and foremost, this confirms Andrew Yang's genius, right? So Andrew Yang has been a very tepid, very marginal supporter of impeachment. And the reason why is he has said from the beginning that the more we talk about Trump, the more Trump wins. And boy, was he right. Like, this event is 100% proving his exact point. So yesterday, December 18th, Donald Trump is impeached. Today, December 19th, is the Democrat debate. What do you think they're going to talk about? They're going to talk about impeachment, and they're going to talk about Donald Trump. And the focus is going to go to Donald Trump. And guess what? Donald Trump can take focus and attention and highlight, and he spins it into gold for himself, right? So that's the issue is the Democrats continue to just serve up everything Trump needs to accomplish his goals, including this impeachment, right? It seems shocking that an impeachment would be a resource for a president, but it seems very clear that Donald Trump is going to massively use this as a resource. You're going to see that resource leverage tonight, right? Donald Trump will be the focus of, Donald Trump's impeachment will be the focus of the debate tonight. There, guarantee it's probably going to be one of the first things they talk about, and it's going to come up, right? And so it's Donald Trump just imposing himself on the Democrats, and it's on what should be a Democrat space to discuss Democrat points, but all they're going to be able to talk about is Trump. Andrew Yang 100% called this. He called it, very early on, and he knew where all this was going, right? Like, he knew absolutely how problematic it is to focus on Trump, and that's what the impeachment is turning into. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what this means for Donald Trump himself. So one, this puts Donald Trump into an absolutely terrible precedent group. He is now one of three U.S. presidents to be impeached. Andrew Johnson back in the 1800s was impeached. Bill Clinton back in the 1990s was impeached. And now Donald Trump is going to be the third president to be impeached. Recognize, not a single president who was impeached has ever been removed from office. So historically, if the pattern plays the way it has before, Donald Trump will have been impeached and not removed from office, right? Now, this was a nightmare scenario that Nancy Pelosi called out for years. And she said, I don't want to go down this road, because if we hand Trump a failed impeachment, she used different words, but she said it would be a resource to him, and it will, right? A failed impeachment will be the NOS bottle, the nitrous oxide, booster canister that Donald Trump will just add right to his Nissan Skyline R34, right? Which is his campaign, right? This will just serve as a cool, fast and furious nitro boost for his campaign if the Democrats fail to impeach him. And then, boy, do we look like that is exactly where we're heading, right? And I think this all validates Andrew Yang's vision and wisdom. He knew from the gate that the Dems were not going to get what they needed from this impeachment. Now, he made political motions to support impeachment because he knew that there were so many Democrats who wanted it so desperately, right? And I think, this is one of the challenges right now, is the Democrat Party, the Democrat voter, the Democrat base their leaders are trying to protect them from foolish choices, and this impeachment is an incredibly foolish choice on the part of Democrats. My take on it is the reason why this isn't going to work is neither the Dems nor the Americans care about it. Right? Nobody in America cares that Ukraine didn't get some military spending. Right? In fact, Trump is being impeached because he delivered a Dem playbook goal. Like a Dem playbook goal is reduce foreign military spending. Like it's right in the Dem playbook. Like it is a goal of virtually every single Democrat 2020 U.S. presidential primary race candidate, right? And so Trump accomplished it, and now he's being impeached for it. Right? And this is one of the reasons why it looks so hollow to the American people. The American people are like, do Dems care about foreign countries not getting military aid? I thought that was our goal, right? Like, it's so confusing and so ridiculous and so clearly politically motivated. It's a mess, right? The other thing is it puts the Dems in this place of rules. You need to follow the rules, quid pro quo, and it's a weird stance for the Dems, right? Like the Dems really aren't a rules party. They're not a law party. It's not the Dem standpoint, right? Like we're for justice reform, not justice, right? Like it's a weird space for the Dems to be in, and it comes off incredibly inauthentic to the American people. It comes off as politically motivated, and the timing of this is absolutely atrocious for the Democrats, right? Because now it looks very much like you're going to have the Senate doing a trial for a president who's about to sit for who's about to be to go into re-election, right? And so it looks like impeachment is being used as a political tool, right? And maybe there's some debate on whether this impeachment is being used as a political tool or not, but I don't think there's any debate that going forward, impeachment will always be on the table if a party doesn't think they're going to be able to get the result they want in the next coming election. Impeachment is going to be whipped off. That tool is going to be whipped off the political tool belt as fast as you can say impeachment, right? Like we are now entering an age where impeachment will be as common. I'm pretty sure there will be at minimum talk in the first year of every presidency for impeachment, and it'll be a dice roll on a 1d4, right? With I would say a 25% chance for every single president that every single president will have to deal with an impeachment during their first term, right? I don't think there's any hope that impeachment is going to be a political process used to protect the nation from a president that would be seeking to harm the nation. It's just going to be a political tool that parties pull out and use against each other, just like any other tool, just like just like gerrymandering, just like attack ads. What's that one where they talk about just like filibusters? It's just a tool, right? That's definitely the area where we've arrived. There's no question that that impeachment in the future will probably be used on every single president going forward. I'm fairly certain it's going to be common as dirt, right? The reality is, we impeached in the 90s. We didn't impeach in the 10s. We're impeaching now in the teens, and there's almost a certainty there'll be impeachment in the 2020s. I highly doubt we'll go even a single decade in the next 5 decades that does not contain at least one impeachment. I highly doubt it. Let me give you my take on whether this is going to be effective. Absolutely not. I do not think for one moment that the Dems are going to be able to remove Trump from the presidency, and a failed impeachment is a massive resource for Donald Trump to use. I will. So one thing I think Andrew Yang can do is he can congratulate the Democrats on their achievement. It is an achievement, and the Democrats do have the right to be proud of it. And so how would they be proud of it? Well, one thing they would do is they would say, hey, and why should the Dems be proud of it, right? Well, one of the things here's my summary of the two parties, right? The Democrats are the party that dreams big, dreams broad, dreams wonderfully, and does virtually nothing. It accomplishes very little of what it sets out to accomplish. The Republicans are the exact opposite. Their dreams are voids. They don't dream of anything wonderful, joyful, or helpful, and they accomplish virtually every small, petty, practical task they put their minds to, right? And so that's the issue is, the Democrats really want to do big, beautiful, broad things, and they fail almost constantly. The Republicans want to do as little as possible and allow as little as possible to change, and they succeed virtually constantly. It's like the two parties are inverted, right? But here, the Dems are breaking their mold. This is a huge accomplishment. In order to do that, they had to control the House. Right now, the Dems control the House. They don't control the Senate. That's why this isn't going to turn out the way they want. And the best way to and I think one of the things I think also that Andrew Yang can do right now, is he can really help the American people understand what's happening, and not from a process perspective, but understand the danger that the Dems are in right now. What the Dems have done with this almost certain to be a failed impeachment is the following. They have, essentially, they're the light side Jedi and Trump is the dark side Jedi, right? And they have struck him. Now, here's the problem, right? The Dems are a Padawan, and the Republicans are a Sith Lord, right? It's bad, right? So they have struck out with their lightsaber, right? And they have cut right through the armor on the Republicans' shoulders, right? And they put that that lightsaber 2 inches deep on the shoulder, on the right shoulder, right? But the problem is, lightsabers have momentum, and that thing's about to swing back, right? And I'm really, really convinced that the Dems are about to either chop off their left hand or take their own eye out with that lightsaber. It is not going to be pretty. A failed impeachment is going to be a massive club that it's going to be a huge resource for Trump, and it is going to be horrific what he's able to achieve with it. I do not think this is a good thing for the Dems. I think there's just a tiny, I think Yang can take the tiniest moment to congratulate his Dem colleagues on this small achievement. It is an achievement in that it slows Trump down. He is now in an absolutely terrible president group. He's in the three presidents who were impeached, which is Andrew Johnson, not anybody's favorite president, and then Bill Clinton. Oh boy. So there was debate over Bill Clinton's legacy in 2017, in 2018, after 2019, and seeing who Bill Clinton had chosen to align himself with during and after his presidency. You could take his legacy, you can put it in a box, and you can duct tape that thing shut. Bill Clinton's legacy is done among the Democrats. He just aligned himself with some monstrous people, and people are like, that you can't really, you can't carry him forward as a champion of the Democrats. It's just not going to be possible, right? And and now there's Trump, right? And so you have Andrew Johnson, you have Bill Clinton, you have Trump, all people who have aligned themselves with monstrous people. And it's not a good group to be in, and it does hurt Trump from a legacy perspective. It doesn't hurt him practically or in the current time, and the reason why is you'd have to be ashamed of impeachment for this to really hurt. And Trump doesn't process shame the way normal people. Actually, normal people are rejecting shame. Shame is an emotion that is fast being rejected by the entire American culture, and it's certainly rejected by Trump, and that's one of the reasons why impeachment is not going to really hurt him in the short term, and it's certainly not going to remove him from president. I think Andrew Yang can help people to understand those things and to continue to send subtle and frequent clues to the Dems that this was a Pyrrhic victory. and that they really need to be incredibly careful as this lightsaber swings back toward them and not chop off their own left hand or take out their own left eye. It's incredibly needed warning from Andrew Yang to the Dems, and it's going to be tough getting this language through. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion on the topic. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.